Good evening to the June 16th Berlin Select Board meeting. To my left is Carla Nuizo and Vince Conti. To my right, Flo Smith and Tor Nelson. I'm Joe Staub. So the regular scheduled meeting is called to order. We're going to go into the public hearing. Row Hill Road reclassification.
So, as long as I can remember, we've always treated part of Row Hill Road as a class 4 road. Including putting in our class 4 road policy of 2016, mentioning that part of it's a class 4 road. But in our mileage certifications to the state and official town highway map, it's still recorded as the whole thing as a class 3 road. So I know they raised the issue with you a couple of times and with me, so let's just do it. So I've always been our intent that the portion between, is it 241 and 487 be treated as a class 4 road. We close it for 6.5 months every year from November through mid-May. And as we saw on the site visit, it clearly does not meet the class 3 road standards and is not really in our ability to upgrade it to a class 3 standard. So my intent is to formally classify it as class 4. And we may have done it like in the 70s, but I'm not going to go digging through that paperwork to try to find it again. So let's just do it again from scratch. So.
You have any comments, Vince? You were there, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's, you wouldn't want to drive it in the winter. Either way.
And it gets closed. It's
Right.
closed for.
Correct, but that's part of why we want to make it a class 4.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I think it's clear that that's the way it's been being treated, right?
Yeah, so we're not proposing any actual changes to operations, is to bring our records
Up to date and
up to date.
state mileage certificate. and all that.
With the actual practice, yeah.
We need a motion on that?
We will later on.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I'd say about the Row Hill is when we close that for 6+ months, whatever that is, and we end up closing crosstowns for a period of time as well, because of mud season, that really cuts off a chunk of West Berlin for the residents, for emergency services and everything else. Not that it has any effect on changing the classification of this road, but we should probably think about setting some money aside and working on a few of those wet spots, because that's typically what it is on crosstown, to make sure that we can keep that open. I'd like to keep it open year round. We've only been 12-15 years closing it. It's not like it's been closed forever. It's just been in the recent decade.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just my comment.
And was there, what prompted the change in terms of what caused the change in having to close it,
Closing what?
the road,
Which one?
crosstown?
I'm gonna say it was the upkeep of the mud. Yeah. And we forever would put in gravel and build the roads up, but we put good material on top of
The
that.
base, yeah. Okay.
So
If I remember back from them, what some of the issue was, the road was being built up so much, driveways and guardrails
Yeah.
and stuff were below it, road level, yeah.
yeah. You can clearly see that the road's been built up, feet above what
Right.
it used to be.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So. Not necessarily comment on Row Hill. If we're closing one, we should really do our best to
Get the other one up.
maintain the other. Which I think in the last car count, that's somewhere around 500 cars an hour at times during the work week.
Yeah, just a lot more cars over there than you'd
Crosstown.
expect across town, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, I think, to your point, Joe, I don't disagree. I think we should look at it and, at the next mud season, look at where the worst ones are first and start budgeting so much money for so many feet a year. Let's figure out the cost a little bit. And,
We can still point those, I can still
just
point
like we
those
did on the
out.
hill, coming out of Riverton, right? We did a stretch of that and it's held up really well, right? If we did 100 feet a year, how many years would it take us to get it so we don't have to close it anymore?
And if
Maybe
you-
100, I'm just throwing numbers
Yeah.
out. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's 200. I don't know. We got to look at the cost.
200 years.
Yeah, that could be too, but we could certainly make a plan.
And you can still see those spots. And like I said, there's only 4. There's one fairly long one and the others are very short.
Yeah.
But we do collect money from the state with the revolving town highway fund, which could be used for engineering. If you want to have someone design that with under drain and, the proper drainage and yeah, I mean, we
I
could
think
do
the state
that.
would work. I think the state worked with us on that section that we did on Crosstown
Yeah,
for that. So I think,
on the down, okay, that section, but I don't know.
but that section from Wheeler Road up to the corner.
Yeah.
That we excavated and rebuilt, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway,
Guess there's no one on to make public comment.
is it,
We just joined as soon as you said that.
Nice.
Oh, it's Matt. He's not commenting on the road.
yeah, he will. He
Just
will,
a minute.
he'll probably reiterate what I just said. So,
Does anyone have a comment online on the road,
Row Hill,
Rowell Hill?
Oh, it's going twice.
all right. If there is no comments, we exit the public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Hi.
Okay, moving on to the regular scheduled select board meeting, additions, changes to the agenda.
Remove the alarm ordinance and personnel policy. They're in for concurrence with town staff.
Okay,
So hopefully we're real close on those.
Nice.
Good.
Good.
and if that's it, public comments?
Hmm.
And you have nothing for public comment coming, okay. The decision and issuance of the findings of Row Hill Road reclassification.
So following our site visit day and our public hearing, the last step is to record our findings. Formally reclassifying that section of road from class 3 to class 4, and that's what I've typed up and have submitted in your packets.
So I'll make a motion to reclassify the 0.24 mile stretch of Town Highway 39, Rowville Road, between addresses 241 and 487 as a class 4 road.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The town welcome signs.
So, as you all know, we have welcome signs. There's locations that are in the town, many along the busier roads, highways. most of these signs have been in a state of disrepair for quite some time, and some are just getting really dilapidated now.
One missing.
And one, yeah, potentially one missing, and might be down in the grass, I don't know, but. This is, the welcome to the town. This is, we're trying to put on our best face, for the public traveling into town, and we want something that looks nice. I've had several people, especially this year, contact me, and Joe, I think you had somebody reach out to you, noticing that these signs were in disrepair. So I reached out to a few places and got one bid, for 6 locations, 2 on Route 12, 2 on 302, Airport Road at the Berrytown line, and Payne Turnpike North at the Montpelier City line. That's the one that's
I was gonna say, is there one
apparently
there?
missing. Well, I seem to remember there being one there,
I don't
and Joe seems to remember one being there. Tim doesn't ever remember it being there. I drove by it twice one day and it's not there, but I think if we're gonna have one anywhere, that's a place that should have one.
Yeah, it's funny.
I know we've-
For the other ones, but I don't remember.
I know we've talked about doing it for years, even before we'd put money in the budget and never get around to it, and I think it's time, let's do it. I mean, the total cost is all 6 locations is $26,160. Between funds we have previously reserved and Maximus taken tonight, I think it's doable, not break our budget.
Can I just ask, do we want to think about doing something different, or do we want to redo the same sign?
I like the same sign myself. I don't know what we do differently.
I don't know, just a thought, I mean. Especially doing something that's not going to, that might stand up better, in terms of different,
Material.
yeah. I mean, I don't have any, I would ideally look for, ideas online, but I didn't do that. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I don't mind, it's not like I don't like them. It's just, I don't know if we wanted to think about changing them if we're gonna invest that much money.
So this bid is to replace what's currently there.
Was to redo them, right?
I read it as that,
Refurbish what's there. That's the way I read it.
yeah, with a new post system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to remove the signs, drop them off, and then they'll
Yeah.
Mhm.
redo them.
Mm-hmm. And if that one is missing at the city line, they'll have to construct one from scratch, recreate it.
So if we were to do something new, how do you propose, moving forward with something new? Contest in town? Locals chime in? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really spent much time thinking about it, but that would, I mean, we could make it into something like that where it's a competition of some of these people submit designs.
Or we don't have any. Schools got out. I was gonna say, maybe you pass it off to. Well, Norwich is gone. I was gonna say
Yeah,
somebody over there being very creative. You had a connection, did you not?
I just remembered, I still have not, I'm gonna do it right now. I still have not sent her that information on the UVM.
New design will probably be considerably more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're refurbishing the existing signs, then you're gonna be replacing one anyway.
Right.
And that's not necessarily covered under this. this quote, this estimate.
What's the life expectancy? These others hold up. Anybody remember?
It's going on 20 years.
Yeah,
Is it?
I mean, they've been in bad shape for probably half that time.
Yeah. All right, so 10 to 15 maybe.
What is their anticipated time frame for completion if we were to move forward with it?
6 to 8 weeks, it said.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you. I see it now. Excellent. And their terms are a 50% deposit required to begin the fabrication. And then the remaining 30 days due.
Okay, you don't think?
well, and I'm gonna say, if you're gonna design something from scratch, it's gonna be a year from now before you put anything like that.
Right.
It's gonna be a
Exactly.
quite a delay.
Um,
They're at a delay.
any more discussion?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess if I'm the only one that's interested, then I guess that's a no-go, but I don't think that it's something that we have to decide immediately, personally, but. But I'm okay if you guys all are not in favor of. Exploring.
Well, if you're gonna be replacing them, even refurbishing them. If you wanna do something different, this would be the time to do it, and we'll live with it for 20 years. Or we keep the same, refurbish what we have, replace the one that's missing. And again, we keep it for 20-ish years. All in favor and moving towards.
Make sure we don't have a motion, yeah.
Oh. You're right.
I've got this hole that I cannot get rid of.
I move to move forward with the quote proposal from Wood Signs on replacing the entrance multi signs for the current design.
Wait a second.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So, moving forward, fiscal year 2025. So,
The budget status report is in your packet. Including most payables. Exercise we do at the end of every fiscal year. And before moving to the next fiscal year, so this is our last meeting of the fiscal year, actually, happy new year.
Is it?
Is to move forward any funds we want to keep in reserves. As opposed to just losing it to the general fund. So I have prepared the spreadsheet in your packet. My recommendations for reservation of funds totaling $776,352. The largest single chunk of that is the flood damage local match of 400,000. That when we baked that into the current year budget was in anticipation of it being reserved at that time. I don't, maybe we could have even have done it at that time. I don't know, as opposed to doing it now, but works out the same in the end, so. That'll make the motion to reserve these funds.
There's a second.
I will second it.
So when we reserve these funds, what? Now discussion. So when we reserve these funds, we're gonna reserve them in the line items of which they were in. Is that what the intent is?
Generally speaking, I mean, there's some broad category that, you know, it's the same general idea, but, you know, we're not gonna take, you know, 3,500 from guns and ammo and use it for a new snow plow. It's gonna be generated within the police training / equipment
Okay,
type of area. We're not gonna take wages and put them into, you know, a new copier for the town clerk type of thing.
So I don't understand. So these are, some of these are just regular expenses. Why are we reserving? Why, what is the purpose of this?
These are ones that we collected taxes for this year, but we came in under budget.
Oh, okay, so this is money left over.
Right.
From this year that you're carrying over and keeping in the same category. Okay, oh, that makes sense. Okay, understood. So I guess the big question is, this is carryover, but was there a deficit, other deficits that obviously not that needed to be covered or? Like,
A lot of them have been already built into this
okay,
area, yeah.
because I'm not seeing complete totals here, so let's see.
Why was VLCT due so high? Like, wanna know? No, okay. Okay, sorry I asked.
We talked about it before.
Probably did, I don't.
Bottom line, there's a lot of insurance baked into that one. As opposed to the insurance categories, which is why I'm not doing much with the insurance categories.
Yeah, understood.
Insurance next year is gonna be a lot more simplified also.
So
Needs to be.
Okay, so that's why insurance is 30% of budget.
Crazy.
No, I mean.
Right,
but- so I only
looking at the
this.
10-1-30, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
right, for the most part, I mean, there's insurances scattered all over the place. Which I'm looking to consolidate next year.
Idea.
So am I reading this right, that revenues were way more than anticipated?
That's correct, but keep in mind 1.3 million of that is FEMA reimbursements.
That were from,
Primarily from the 23 flood.
okay,
Also keep in mind that we had 230,000 in options tax revenues that we had not budgeted
Budgeted
for, so that's
but it's
one
almost,
point five, almost 1.6 million right there.
wait, 1.6 million, I mean, between FEMA and the.
Option tax, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's,
And keep in mind, my philosophy when budgeting for revenues is to
the,
be conservative.
Conservative, I get it.
So,
no, I mean, it's a good thing, I was just,
well, I mean, I don't know, it's a good thing, but I mean,
Well, no, I mean, the extras.
in the end, I mean, well, I mean, it means we're collecting more in tax and property taxes than we really should be, but
Well,
versus being short in the middle of the year. And this is, this is how we make it up by reserving it, carrying it forward and reducing
yeah,
property taxes in the future year.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Very beneficial. How is the police overtime looking in comparison to past? Because I'm looking at the figure on here. And that's very high. And I realize
It's
they're
very high.
putting in a lot.
Every year, generally, it's very high and we increase it every year and we still never really get close to it, so.
I just couldn't remember what it was before. I was curious.
I'm almost thinking we didn't increase, we've reduced it this year, it seems like because we were fully staffed at the time,
Mm,
but I could be wrong.
perhaps.
We had been short staffed for a while and then
Mhm, mhm.
we thought we wouldn't use as much, but it looks
Mhm.
like we,
And we see that like under police longevity.
Yeah.
You know, we had budgeted for 2,500 and it was 0 and 0%. So other things came in lower. It's just, that was so.
Well, the longevity here, you're gonna think is a coding error. I
Oh,
don't think it's been coded properly.
I see. That could be. I see your point.
okay, well, we have a motion.
Discussion's done.
I'm
I'll
good.
second it.
Being there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Opposed? State reappraisal order.
So we've been expecting our COA and COD coefficient of dispersion have triggered the order from the state to conduct a reappraisal. We knew this was coming, so we got out in front of the ball on this and issued an RFP and a contract for reappraisal. Fortunately, doesn't start until 2028 to be finished in 2030. But we do have to, the select board chair does have to sign an acknowledgement to the state that we're going to complete the reappraisal. And then there's a form that the listers have to prepare, gives more detail onto the reappraisal. So I just wanted to put this on your agenda that we did receive the official order from the state requiring a reappraisal. Then as far as the overtime, last year we budgeted 15,000. And it came in as 114,362, so
Okay.
That was close.
it was,
Well, no, but I just
So,
remember a conversation.
actual amount is the same, we're,
Well, I mean, I just remember a conversation where we discussed the overtime and one of many things where we said, well, now we have more staff, so we probably won't use as much overtime.
I'm just gonna ask a stupid question though. That much overtime. Should we consider another officer? Should we cover another officer?
you're gonna get mad at me. I already built it into the budget. We're hiring now.
It really truly.
Well, that answers my question then. I wasn't so.
In fact, I think the chief interviewed somebody this morning.
That only makes sense.
Right.
Only makes sense.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
And that's why I brought up the issue, because it does, it makes total sense.
Well, then the other issue, I mean,
We can't.
the
burn
issue-
out the-
following the chase last week, one of the officers is gonna be out for
6 months.
6 to 9 months now,
Mhm,
so,
And they
we
did
can
such
never
a
really-
fine job last.
never really
You're still not
get
gonna
ahead
get ahead,
of it. Yeah.
even with another officer now. So. Well, that answered my
This
question.
one, I mean, the one he interviewed, is level 3 certified,
Oh,
so
good.
he'll be much more able to hit the ground running type of thing. We won't
Yep.
send him to the academy or. anything
Great
like
news.
that. But that's, it's still,
In the works. It's not
it's in the
done.
works. It's not a done deal yet.
Ink's not dry.
No.
It's unfortunate our officer got hurt,
Yeah.
but they did a great job last week.
Okay, that's, all right.
I took that better than I thought you would.
That makes sense. How can you argue that? No, let's not
I'm not-
continue to pay, double an officer's salary that we don't have in overtime and burn these guys out.
Yeah.
I do have a question about how we know what the right size, same as the police fire department, what's
Yeah.
the right size? Because in looking at other towns, our police budget is a much larger percentage of the total budget than in other towns. So and it's not a criticism, because I think they do a great job. It's just a function of how far do we go, how much can we afford? And what does the town really need? And I certainly don't have the answer to that, because I am no way an expert on the police department or the fire department, but it's just a question I think has to be asked.
I think one of the questions, at least on the PD side, would be, you're gonna look at, what are they processing compared to some of those other departments you might be looking at? So I guess it all depends on what you're looking at.
I guess, yeah.
I think caseload, I think we're second highest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean, I just would like
believe
to
that.
know how you gauge that, like.
I mean, when I was,
Didn't we? It was a couple of years ago at least, right? Didn't we invite the chief in and they gave a presentation that compared us to a couple surrounding towns just on that, calls, caseloads?
wasn't that thing at the Comfort Inn?
It might have been, yeah, it may have been at the Comfort Inn.
Or,
It may have been that one.
I know historically,
But
it's
It's the right question, and that was the answer. We had him come in and he
Yeah.
was able to show the number of calls,
Yeah,
the number of arrests, the caseloads. The data speaks.
and I learned at the fire station that there's a lot of unique things that create more risk in Berlin, and so, and I
Yeah.
know it's a similar
It's a similar story
thing
with the
with the police
police.
department, but it just, when you just start thinking about everything rising, you have to start saying,
Yeah.
do we need to look at whether we need to control costs better? I mean, that's, or where we choose to control
Yeah.
costs.
No, it's a good question. Maybe we.
you want to
invite
hear
the
from the chief.
Maybe
Yeah,
we ask the chief to put that together, a couple local town comparison in size and what they have and what they don't have that we have and look at the data.
and I mean, I have a lot of respect for the force. I mean,
Mhm.
we had a really good talk with two of the officers and
Yeah.
as far as the canine thing, and
Yeah.
anyway, just throwing it out there. 'cause it's
And
been-
Berlin is looking to grow. So this is where we're at.
No, I get it.
Still want to grow.
I get
It
it.
comes with a
It's
cost.
complicated. It's not easy.
Exactly.
Cause it's a chicken and the egg, right?
You gotta walk a fine line and keep a
Yeah.
balance. You're
Yeah.
right, you're right.
Okay, moving forward. Credit card policy update.
So I'm not looking for action on this tonight, but wanted you to take a look at it. The fire department has two credit cards? Three credit cards. And with them coming over, and also there was a request, last fall, we had provided a credit card to one of the police sergeants. And there's been a request from the police department for another police department member to have a credit card, and then with the fire chief coming in, authorizing a credit card for the fire chief as well. So that is the proposal I'm looking to make at our next meeting.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Everything else, I'm not looking to make any changes to it, but unless you see anything in the meantime that you feel good time to take a look at it, yeah.
Moving on, peddlers permit ordinance.
So at our last meeting, I provided you a copy of our current peddler's permit in your packet. I've included South Burlington's ordinance and their application. Rutland's ordinance and their application. And Fairhaven's ordinance. And you can see there's quite a bit of difference between the three of them as far as content and length and what they ask for and everything. So just for your reading perusal through
Personally, I think
Yeah.
whatever we should do for a peddler permit at this point, I think we should make it all electronic in the system. Personally.
application.
The application, like,
Yeah. Easy to do, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be very easy to do.
Right.
Excellent.
And that, if you notice, I think it's Rutland's.
Yep, it is. Right.
Rutland was very fancy. It had these little tabs, but I think almost too fancy, but I can see
Somewhere in between, but
at the top, they had little tabs.
Mhm.
And then that was the subsequent pages.
I like that.
So, but there's some things I want to see included on there, especially for motor vehicles. Insurance registrations, driving records. Stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So just think about it, read up,
Excellent. Thanks for pulling that
bring
together.
back your ideas, and we'll probably start discussing this more in depth at our next meeting, start putting some of these thoughts together.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a lot of these.
Sorry, others permits?
Yeah.
I think one in the past year.
If somebody,
Some years we've had more. I mean, it seems to me in the past we've had more. We've had ice cream trucks and stuff, but I think the last 2 years, we only had the Christmas tree guy at the mall.
I was gonna say, so because if it's inside the mall, that's just the mall, right? We don't know what to deal with it. It's only if it's outside that they would need a permit, okay. You know how they put those kiosks up in the mall in Christmas time, but
trucks, Christmas tree sales.
Yeah.
I think those are the.
And the other thing I think we want to word in our ordinance is farmers markets.
Mhm.
I think, I mean, my intent is to be an exemption for
yeah,
that, but I think we need to word that in there.
Yeah, have it in there, yep.
good.
Because that was, I'm like, that wasn't a thing last time ordinance was looked at. So.
Right. I noticed there's a food truck down by Cody's that I've never seen before. I know it's not in Berlin, but just an observation, huh?
Have you sampled it?
No, I
Oh.
didn't. I just drove by it when I picked up me and I'm like, I don't remember that ever being there before.
Okay, then moving forward, approval of warrants and minutes.
I make the motion to approve payroll warrant 25-25 for payroll from June 1, 2025 to June 14th of this year to be paid on June 18th of this year in the amount of $65,969.07 and payable warrant 25G24 with check number 25026 to 25069 in the amount of $606,519.95. Did that good without glasses on.
Mhm.
Berlin Volunteer Fire Department Selectmen's orders for February, March, and April of this year, and the general journal entries for May.
Is there a second?
Pretty please?
I'll second. I just nobody's seconding.
Since I review them so in depth before they get issued, I try to hesitate.
No, I know you do, yeah, I know, I hear you.
Motioning or seconding them.
Mhm.
One note on there's the payment for the new truck in there, which is actually coming out of the 26th budget.
Okay,
Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes for the June 2nd?
One thing I was gonna note on there is, it has me down as not present, so if I can just be included as being present. I didn't see anything in the content that stuck out to me. Other than that,
Is there a second? With the edit?
and that was a motion to approve it with just including me as having been attending, so I do make that motion.
Okay.
Second it. That's funny, they didn't, because they mentioned you in there that you made the motion.
Exactly,
Mhm.
and it's another time where I wasn't listed as not present, but I wasn't listed as present.
You're not present, but
Right.
you're not present.
It happened one other time
So-
exactly the same way. We had the same discussion.
Any other edits, changes?
Yes.
Discussion?
there is mitigation money for repairs, but not for protection. On the roundtable stuff. It's for home repair, it's if a home needs to be repaired, there's money, but there's not for potential damage. For, future. For mitigating future damage, so we could just take out the not. So Nuisal shared that there was mitigation money for repairs, but not for protection. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else to the minutes? Seeing none. Accepting it with edits. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roundtable. Flo?
I say great that Payne Turnpike North has been opened up.
Yeah.
That was wonderful, that happened on time as expected. So that's great. Yep, that's it for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tor?
Just echoing Flo, big thanks to V-Trans for their work on getting it installed and open.
Mhm.
And there are still gonna be some temporary closures coming up as the engineers still have to do some field work and stuff, some soil.
Soil nails.
Soil.
Boring,
Boring,
boring samples.
Makes
And
sense.
stuff, so they will have to close it. But it'll only be for a couple days here, a couple days there type of thing.
Mhm. That's wonderful.
And then I received an email today from Senator Welch's office. We had submitted a request for congressionally directed spending for the Scott Hill Water Main Loop, and we are so Senator Welch has passed our request to the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee for the Interior Environment for $2.2 million. So that's just one step out of of many we have to go through, but it's still positive that
Yeah,
I made it
that
that
project is
Great.
still alive. So
that's great.
thankful to
That is
Senator Welch.
positive news and kudos.
Nice. Carla?
I'm just gonna say thank you to your crew. They came and filled my pool the other night and they were very kind and they were very, they were quick. Yeah, they did a great job. They even asked me if they wanted them to go back and fill up, get the rest of the 500 gallons, and I said, no, they could. I'd fill it up with my hose, cause I only wanted to limit it to 3 trips.
I'll pass that on. Thank you. Vince?
I'm good. Think. No value to add.
I guess, so I'm gonna go off on the bridge thing. For Payne Turnpike North. I'm just wondering, I mean, I do appreciate all that, the work that V-Trans put into it. Is there a need for signage for, the shift in lanes?
I've been told that's V-Trans are going to take care of that. God brought that up
Okay.
last week. Yeah,
Great news.
Is there a weight limit?
there is
Restriction.
There is no wait. limit.
No weight limit
I've
restriction?
checked with them on that as well.
Okay.
I figured there would be. There is.
Do.
Good
Take that
news.
thing in place and leave it.
And the lines,
They're going to be
Center
painted
lines.
as well. Yeah.
they're gonna, okay,
So they're in the process of doing that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, that was really positive.
Mhm. Very fortuitous.
Executive session.
We do, and before we do that, I've got one more thing to hand out for everybody.
Mhm.
Oh. That's
I
right.
think you should probably be there for it. Oh, just look at him throw it away. He's not interested. I moved to enter into executive session for personnel under 1 VSA 313A3.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
Oh,
Move to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.